Yes, people. We are back live. We are back live on the Sarcasm City TV YouTube for another edition of the ManDem United podcast dedicated to all things Manchester United. So please keep all your comments and questions Manchester United related. Ivorian, how you doing, man? Talk to me, my brother.
Bro, I'm good, man. It's been a good week for Manchester United last week. Back-to-back wins. Great Easter break as well. The sun was shining in London, you guys. Especially on that
Ivorian, man.
Saturday. You know,
I love to
bro,
see it. I love
I
to
love
see
to.
it,
You,
man.
you know how it is on a 12:30 Manchester United lunchtime kickoff or a Sunday 4:30 kickoff on a sunny day. It don't really usually work well for us. So on that sunny day, on a lunchtime kickoff, we got a nice Easter present for us. We got our Easter eggs. You get me, from Manchester United, which was a victory against Everton, which led to a fabulous weekend. But big up to you, everyone that's tuning right now. Smash that like button as always. We want 100 likes minimum. You get me? That's the minimum. But Flawless, how you doing, my brother? How's you? How's Flawless?
I'm blessed, man. No complaints. Like you, obviously United back-to-back wins, so that always helps. Back-to-back wins, and I genuinely like. We've been saying it for the longest on the show, in particular this season. How we're looking forward to games, how we can reel off our next 4 or 5 fixtures. You know what I'm
Yes,
saying? Where
yes.
we can praise the manager and we can praise the players, even players we don't rate too tough have played well. We already have a trophy in the bag. We're already looking at 2 trophies. Back in obviously, I mean, looking at 2 more trophies. Back in Europa League action, obviously on Thursday, and then Sky did a piece where they were talking about a potential clear out of Manchester United, something me and you, Ivorian, have been talking about
Yes,
all season in regards to
yes.
the amount of players we would get rid of, whether we won, drew, or lost games. We've spoken on depth in this, so we will be discussing all them things. But like I stated at the very start, please keep all your comments and questions Manchester United related, please, because it is the ManDem United podcast. Make sure, like Ivorian said, you hit the like button. Make sure you share across all the socials and subscribe to the channel Sarcasm City TV. And when you subscribe, make sure you hit the notification bell as well, please. And of course, if you super chat, we'll get straight to it. If you super chat, we will get straight to your comment or your question. And on top of those things, Ivorian's channel is in the title, people, Red United TV. So all you have to do is click the link in the title, open up a new tab, take you to Ivorian's channel, go subscribe over there, and it'll take you to all his socials as well. Big up to Stephanie G, says big up Flawless and Ivorian. Big up to Malcolm, Play Simple, United for Life. We will talk about this as well because Carragher, I don't know what sparked it, but he said Van Dijk
Jeez.
was better than Vidic. All I'm gonna say on it is briefly is we shouldn't give these things too much energy. Liverpool legend
Definitely.
says a Liverpool legend is better than a Manchester United legend. Why are people shocked? Like, why are people shocked? Like, hear what I just said, people. Liverpool legend says current Liverpool legend is better than a Manchester United legend who played. Like, what do you expect? That's like people saying to me, yo, Flawless, who do you think the best Manchester United content creators are out there? And I mentioned Ivorian, and people are shocked that I mentioned Ivorian.
Of course,
You
you
know what I'm
know
saying?
me,
It's
bro.
that's just common sense. People are like, I can't believe he said Ivorian is one of the best Manchester United content creators. Well, same team. You know what I'm saying? So of course I'm going to like that's what that is. Like I don't get it. I don't know why people give it so much. I'm not you in particular, United for Life. I'm not saying you, but I'm saying people on Twitter like buying into Carragher. I'll even say trolling because I genuinely believe he believes that, and I'm not surprised. Same way if you would have asked Rio Ferdinand then came to Vidic's defense and was like, and he would say Vidic was better than Van Dijk because that's his guy, and of course, you know what I'm saying. Like we watched Jamie Carragher on Sky after Liverpool won one league title. Compare that side to Manchester United side that won the treble, and they had Roy Keane there talking about the treble winning side. So football is very tribalist, very tribal. We know this. We know this, people. So it's not a surprise or a shock, but it's tough to compare the two to me personally, actually, when you break it down because of the errors. If they
Nah.
played in the same era, it makes it easier. Because not in against Van Dijk, but Vidic played in the era where certain teams you play 2 strikers. So you're more one-on-one. Whereas Van Dijk, and they say a shot Van Dijk, more often than not, he's playing against one striker. So that makes it easier. Nothing to take away from Van Dijk though. Incredible defender. And the years that he the 2-3 years he had at his peak, fire. He was exceptional. But yeah, your thoughts on Ivorian.
First of all, I find it so funny if everyone's getting absolutely livid with the comments, because at the end of the day, this is as equivalent to when our manager just the other day praised Maguire. You know, he ain't gonna say Maguire's been awful, you know, all that kind of stuff. He's not good enough to wear the shirt of Manchester United. He's gonna be, you know, backing his own players. It's as equivalent as when McTominay came out of the concert that he was in while he was intoxicated and backed Maguire as well. Like, what do you expect from these men to say, nah, Maguire ain't it, all that kind of stuff? But you know what's so funny is the comparison. I laughed as well because I just felt, raw, Jamie, you must be really in your feelings after this draw against Arsenal. You shouldn't be talking like this. You just drew. You got a point. You was facing nothing. Towards the end of the match, your team got a point. I would, you know what I have to say? That comparison, which I've always had an issue with, you know, for the longest of time, since they said Virgil van Dijk is the best defender of all time, since the grass has been green ever since they've introduced gloves to goalkeepers in the Premier League and in league football. He's been the best defender ever since, man. And I just find it shocking because you know why? Because I'm not going to say this because I am a Manchester United fan and because I'm probably biased. But, bro, I remember Vidic being one of the best defenders, not for 1 or 2 seasons, not for 3 seasons, but for a very long time at Manchester United, for good 5, 6, 7 years at Manchester United, playing at the highest level where Van Dijk himself came from. I respect the grind. I respect the come up. I respect coming from Dutch, then going to Scotland and making a name for yourself in Celtic and then moving to Southampton. Yeah, trust me. I believe in the hustle. I believe in the grind because we all come from that kind of, we have to grind to get to where we need to get to the top. So, and of course, from there, he made that sensational move to Liverpool. But he hasn't been at the best defender for good, 3, 4, 5 seasons. It's only for 3 years we realized that Van Dijk is the best defender. We knew his potential at Southampton, at Celtic, even to the extent that we, as Manchester United fan, eyed up Van Dijk at Southampton and said, you know what, he would be an excellent addition, you know, to Manchester United. He's a fantastic defender. But to hail him as one of the greatest defenders above Vidic, and we've seen the most obvious common stats that's been thrown on social media. The fabulous season that Vidic had, where he had like 200 of something clearances. I think they showed a comparison of Van Dijk's best season versus Vidic's best season, and Vidic was clear from Van Dijk. Vidic is a beast as a defender. Vidic is a defender that Van Dijk himself probably modeled himself on, looked at, and probably modeled his game on Vidic. There is no comparison, you know, because you know why? You can only compare those who has won serial trophies like Vidic, who's a real leader. I'm not saying Van Dijk is not. I'm not trying to disrespect him. He's one of the Liverpool leaders. He's one of the captains. But Vidic was just a beast. Vidic put his hands, his teeth, his nose, his legs, everything to that ball. If it had to be his eyes that had to be on the line, he will sacrifice those eyes for the great and goodness of Manchester United succeeding and winning trophies. Ask Drogba. Man headbutted Drogba's feet and he was bleeding. You remember that?
There's a still with Adebayor as well, where Adebayor's got to strike the ball and he puts his head right in front of the ball. Like, he was wild like that, Vidic. 100%.
Exactly. Like, you cannot compare Nemanja Vidic. He's one of the all-time best defenders in the Premier League ever since they changed from the English Division 1 to the Premiership. So I cannot compare, and I can never understand why people want to compare between greatness. No, Van Dijk is great, but Vidic is greatness. You know, Vidic is one of the all-time leading defenders in the Premier League. You know, for the work he's done, the amount of trophies he's won, you cannot compare that, man. Like, people need to stop it. Like, you just need to stop it. There's some things that you just don't compare. You know, you don't compare Vidic to Van Dijk. I know they both start with V's, but you don't do it, bro. Because again, Vidic is a legend in this game. He's an ultimate defender. And Van Dijk can't reach his level, and I don't think he will reach his level. Look at Van Dijk now. People are calling him Van Disney, you know, Raz B and all that kind of stuff, disrespecting him before he's even, you know, done with his prime. He's at his prime age and he's being disrespected. Vidic never got disrespected, even when he was near his time at Manchester United. He was still held one of the best defenders in the world and went to Inter to continue that. So yeah, there's no comparison, you know. My man is falling off. and he's what in his 30s already. And Vidic was nowhere near that level of falling off. He was consistent.
Yeah.
So yeah, man. All type the Liverpool fans, you know, you can say Vidic, Van Dijk is better than Vidic, whatever. I'll let you have it for the rest of your life. But I know the truth.
Yep.
Flawless knows the truth. The Premier League history record knows the truth. You know, I'm very sure Carragher himself knows the truth. Fernando Torres knows the truth because he only scored 3 goals out of 15 games, and he only had the 1 or 2 over Vidic.
Yeah, like this whole because Stephanie G mentioned it, like that myth that Torres had, like Torres had him on skates. Like
No, he
Torres
didn't.
had a couple of very, very good games and memorable and notable games against Vidic, but he scored 3 and 15.
And
So
got him sent off. Yes,
Like,
and that's the funny thing. That's what people only remember. That.
Yeah.
But what happened to the other 14 or 13 games where Torres
Yeah.
couldn't do nothing against Vidic, and
Facts.
Vidic had his number? Like,
That's
come on, let's be real. That's like half a season of games. You know that, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. Big up to Zeppi, Chris, Starlord as well. Let's see. You lot, like I said, continue to get your questions in as well. Jeffrey says Jamie Carragher once blamed Paul Pogba for Champions League loss he didn't play in. Agendas on agendas on agendas. LOL, I respect it though, because the hate is both ways. What game is that, Jeffrey? Please let me know. What game was that? When did he do that? Because I missed this. So please let me know when he said that. So I can go back and I can go and have a look at that, please. If you're still in the chat. Let's see what you. Hey, Jeremiah, man, I see you, Young G. Bless up Jeremiah in the cut as well. I see you, big up every single time, man. Hope you're enjoying the season. I know you are. You lot continue to bump up the likes. Already over 20 likes. Over 30 of you lot in here. Let's get up to 30 likes. And we're looking for 4 more subscribers as well. Sorry, no, 5 more subscribers. We're looking to get to 6,300 people. 5 subs, over 30 of you lot in the building. I know there's at least 5 of you lot who haven't hit the subscribe button. I stand corrected. 4, because we're at 6,296. So yeah, girls up to 30 likes, people currently at 23, sorry. So 7 more and 4 more subscribers as well. And we'll get to the takeover. Don't worry. Like I said, we'll discuss United being back in Europa League action and any questions you lot may have. Are you concerned that the 3rd round of bids is going to impact our summer transfers? Aaron, you answer this first. Are you concerned about it?
The 3rd round of bids, would it impact our summer transfer? Well, we're in the middle. We're at the start of April, and the season doesn't end till what? In May, I think, next month, isn't it?
Well, this is new news here. So big up to RJ, who said takeover latest. A 3rd round of bidding will take place between prospective buyers of Manchester United by the end of the month. So yeah, go on.
Would it stop our investment in the summer? No, because Manchester United don't stop buying players until probably the 1st week of July. You know, it's doesn't matter if they got new owners, man. It's just something that we've always done. The 3rd bid, I don't see it, man. I really don't. I just see as they're just introducing this 3rd bid because the Glazers are trying to milk as much money as they can, or try and renegotiate the current bids and see how far these people can stretch in terms of how much they can offer. Would it have an impact on Manchester United buying in the summer? No, not at all, man. It's business as usual, whether the bids are successful or not. As I said before, this sale saga is long. You know, you've all watched the sale saga. This sale saga is going to take as long as it can be.
Jesus,
you can milk it, bro.
Oh my God.
You get me? They're going to milk it as long as they can. I reckon they probably go until the end of May, until the season actually starts, to decide who will buy Manchester United, so they can dip after the end of financial terms for the footballing calendar, which is at the end of the season. Once the Champions League is done, probably see if they can get some dividends before they end up leaving as well. I don't think it will have that much of an impact, man. I think it might just stall our plans. Yeah, for example, towards the end of the month of May, or towards the end of the season of May, where you sit down with the board and say, okay, now can we start targeting our players? Who do we want? Then that might be put on hold until probably there's a new owners, and then they can probably re-strategize on the players that they actually want, you know, and they actually can afford. So it might have a slight impact, but not until I wouldn't say all the way up to when the transfer window reopens in June. I think everything should be done before the transfer window opens up in the 1st week of June, June the 1st. So I'm not concerned about that, man. The only thing I'm concerned about is whether we're going to whether we're going to be Qatari or we're just going to be an energy company. That's all I care about, man. Which one are we going to go into? I hope I become a Qatarian, bro. I want to call myself Sheikh. Ivorian spice, bruv, for the rest of my life, you know.
Ivorian shake, man. You know what I'm saying?
Ivorian shake, bruv. You get me? But what were you? What do you think? Do you think
Maybe,
it will impact?
will it impact it? Maybe, because you said it there. We need to be getting our business done as early as possible. And when I say that, people, we need to be identifying the targets. So Ten Hag and the rest of the team need to be identifying targets. Then we need to approach those targets. And ideally, it's not going to. Hopefully, it is a change, and we have everybody we want before the window. Before the tour. I believe we're touring in the US. So before whatever preseason tour we go on, we want at least 90% of the players in, and we want 90% of the players out. So could it affect it? Yes. This is why I want this sale to go through as quickly as possible, so we can put things in place and implement everything that is needed, because we don't want to be scrambling around 2-3 games into the season. We don't want it to be late, because the season starts, I believe, the 12th of August. So you don't want to be the 3rd and 4th weeks in August still making bids for players and trying to bring players into the side. Like, no, let's have a settled side. Let's start as we mean to go on. That's how I'm looking at it. Let it be a new regime. So I'm gonna give the new regime chance, and I believe if it is the Qataris, I believe they'll do that. I think they'll put the structure in place. They're not buying Manchester United just not like they need the money. They're buying Manchester United for it to be successful. This is not a money grab. This isn't a cash grab for him. Because if this is a cash grab, like, this is a stupid cash grab, and they're not stupid. You know what I'm saying? They're not silly people. You don't spend $6 billion on something and then expect a profit. Like, no, there's much smarter investments if it's just a money thing. That's what makes me notice. They could easily spend not even 10% of that. They could buy something for $1 million and invest in that and make more money. But if you're buying something for $6 billion, or you know what I'm saying, $5-6 billion, then like, that's not a money grab at all. That's how I would look at it. Let's see this. Before we continue on that, Flawless that was when we lost to Istanbul. I think the Carragher comments were on an American broadcast though, so I don't know if you can find them though. I just remember Micah kind of checking them on it. Oh, you're talking about, because it's Micah Richards, Jamie Carragher, and Thierry Henry. They do
the CBS one, yeah.
I'll be able to find it, Jeffrey. Thank you. I'm definitely gonna look for that. It's when we lost to Istanbul, Besiktas. Okay, yeah. I'm going to have a look for that. Big up, Jeffrey. But yeah, that's all it is, man. That's why we need these owners in ASAP. To have great owners, have the correct board, have the system above Ten Hag, and give Ten Hag now the best opportunity to succeed. It's not all on him in terms of recruitment. Yes, Ten Hag will have his ideas and he'll have players in mind, but help him. Put him onto a player he might not know about. And he's like, you know what, I like him. Or you can say, I want a player that does this, this, and this. I want the attributes of my left back to be this, this, and this. Go find me one. And then they bring back a list of names. And he's like, I didn't know about such and such. I like that. Same with a goalkeeper. Same with centre backs and the whole team. So that's because we really we're having a successful season this season. Already have. And
I agree.
We could have a great season this season. But next season, if we do the transfer window is so important. If we sign the correct players, we could have a fantastic season. We could have the best season we've had in years. We can go and genuinely compete for a Premier League. We can compete for a Champions League. If is a big IF Indigo Foxtrot, people. Massive if we sign the correct players. That's what it is. If we get new owners, if the owners do what they're supposed to do. Because we've already seen the impact having a good window last summer's had this season already. So imagine another one. Yeah, go on, Ivory.
I'm definitely with you, on that one, because at the end of the day, we prefer Manchester United to sell as soon as possible before the end of the season, because a lot of things will take place once the takeover is complete. New board members needs to be installed, and then of course we've got the upstairs situation where once the takeover has been done, and they have to assess the staff members that they have that's running the club, the recruitment team. They need to reassess that. We need a new scouting operation. We need new scouts, because we don't trust in the current scouts that we've had for many years. Or is it the question of whether we have good scouts, but our board members and our previous CEO didn't take any suggestions? Because we've heard some rumors where the scouts have recommended excellent players that have turned out to be great players in the past, but they didn't take them on board at all. The guys who made the buying decisions, just as Matt Judge and of course Ed Woodward and etc. And probably when you had Ollie just said yes to anything, to be fair. Yeah. So yeah, I definitely feel like the earlier the better. the quicker we can get rid of the scumbags that work upstairs that don't deserve the job that they are in right now. New technical director, because I saw the video of Fletcher being asked, "What do you do at Manchester United?" And the guy literally dodged the question, never answered anything, tried to bring back memories from the past between him and what's it called. I'm like, yo, you didn't answer the question. You're doing that Ollie thing when the what's it called? The journalist asked you, "What's your philosophy?" And you never saw the guy ever again in the press conference room. You're doing that Ollie thing, you know. But yeah, definitely. And then get rid of the. I'm not too sure if I want to get rid of the director of football, because the director of football, in my opinion, has done a decent job by recommending Ten Hag and etc. and actually tried to back him and convince the board to back him, which is of course who's our guy again? The director of football. Come on,
the DOF.
The DOF. You know, John Myrtle, yeah.
That's why I forgot.
But of course, as well, he still lacks. He's inexperienced and he's more experienced, and it will be good for him to have a good support structure beside him with experienced guys. Like from what we've heard, is it Paul Mitchell? Monaco. Apparently, he might be leaving at the end of this season, so it'll be nice to have him a part of the team. So that's what's really important for the board, for the new bidders to come in as quick as possible, flawless, and restructure the whole upstairs, man. That's what needs to happen before we start buying players. So that's why I think that needs to get done first, because if we do that later, it will actually it will hinder whatever we're trying to do in terms of signing players. Because imagine if the Glazers sell the club by June, and the first week of June the window's open. Of course, the new owners want to bring in their own people, and they want to hire the best in class for each department in Manchester United. And that will take how long? How long does it take to hire people? It can take up to a month, take up to 2 months. And we're not going to rely on Ten Hag. You know, Ten Hag came to Manchester United hoping that Manchester United had suggestions of players. He didn't expect to come to this job and say, "What? So what? I came here thinking that you men are world-class scouts. I came from Ajax. They're not the same like you men. They don't make the same money as you men. Where's the list of suggested players? You're asking me for suggestions? Are you desperate?"
Yeah, I think that's when.
And what happened? Ten Hag brought his man.
Yeah. Well, this is facts, and this ties into this question from Matthew, who says, "Does it worry you that a lot of the players we are linked with are from the era of Vise, or do you think Ten Hag just knows some hidden gems?" Here's what I say to this, Matthew: does it worry me? Not in the slightest, because you know why? That means he's buying what he knows, and it's only you, Matthew. Only rival fans do this. Only rival fans will use that as a criticism. Hassam tried that bullshit on Battle of the North earlier this season. You know what I'm saying? And that shout out to Hassam. But me and him got, because he tried that, "Oh, you're just buying players from the Dutch league." Okay, is it working? That's all that matters. If it wasn't working, it wouldn't be a situation. But the reason why Hassam and rival fans will try and use that as a criticism is because it's working. If Malacia, bear in mind, Eriksson and Casemiro didn't come from the Dutch league. You know what I'm saying? Malacia did. Has worked out. Martinez has arguably been our best player this season. Anthony, for all the criticism he's received, has had an impact this season. The reason why rival fans will use this is because it's impacting Manchester United positively. If it was impacting Manchester United negatively, they would just call the players terrible and move on. So it don't matter about where the players are from. Never been any discussion or any situation about where the players have been from in the last 10 years when they've been unsuccessful. Because we signed Wan-Bissaka, Maguire, Dan James, I believe, in the same window. I believe so. Okay, all them players there play in England. All them players didn't deliver at that point. No one was talking about Solskjaer's just buying from the English league. So that's what does it worry me? No. I have no issue because I trust Ten Hag's judgment. So now it's not a concern. And clearly it's a league he knows. And I like his signings from there. I like Anthony, Martinez, and Malacia. So if he wants to go sign 5-6 players from there, I trust him. I do. Because it's worked out so far. So yeah, it's not a concern. I want us to improve. I want us to widen our net in terms of, I don't want it to just be the Dutch league solely. Or if we're linked, if he goes there mainly, that's fine. And the reason why I don't want him to go there solely is then we'll be missing out on other players. That's what it is. But that's not on Ten Hag. That's on what me and Ivorian were just talking about. Ivorian more in depth in regards to the team upstairs, the recruitment, the scouting stuff, doing what they're supposed to do. I'm saying Brighton signed a player from Paraguay that I'd never heard of until he scored against Southampton. Because I was doing the most yesterday, so obviously I have to run through all the goals. And I seen his name. I was like, who's this? I was like, I have no idea who this Paraguay player, and Cisco is called. They signed for 9.5 million. I went to check his Wikipedia stats. There's no stats before Brighton this season. You know, like it has appearances like previous clubs. It has no appearance stats for him. Like it'll tell you where he played previously, but there's no numbers, there's no appearances, goals, assists, nothing. He went Brighton for 9.5 million from Paraguay. That's not even a main like country spoke about in regards to South America. When we start talking South American players, we'll talk Brazil, of course, Argentina. Then it's maybe a Ecuador. You know what I'm saying? And that a Colombia. But we don't talk about Paraguay. So if Brighton can go and find a player for, and I'm not even saying whether he's good or not, I only found out about him yesterday. But if they can find a player in Paraguay for 9.5 million, we can find players with our resources because we have much more resources than Brighton. We spend more on our resources. So yeah, I'm not concerned. But again, this is all ties into them Glazers being fucking crooks and us having to change the owners and change the upstairs because we should go and find players. Go locate these players 100%. Emma says the old scouts were quite good, recommended some players who are quite good now, but they was quit or let go. And then that's on the people making the decision making. That's why, Emma, I say about the recruitment team. Because I don't just put it on the scouts. I put it on the scouts. I put it on the recruitment team, the people making the decisions who are also a part of the recruitment team, and Ten Hag. Whoever's making them decisions has to get more wrong. It has to get more right than they get wrong. Otherwise, they should be let go. Simple as that.
Yeah, I just wonder how these men get their performance review out the way, bro. Because
Facts.
there's a lot of things that we've looked at over the past with Manchester United where they've done performance reviews. Like, for example, do you remember the season that we lost the Europa League final and someone got a new contract because they claimed that he was successful? That performance review, I just don't know what they measured it on because
Facts.
I didn't. A lot of fans were against him getting a new contract. What has he won? Are we rewarding failure? We went to 4 semi-finals. We failed on that. We went to a Europa League final. Man failed to even make a sub until the extra time and all that kind of stuff, and lost to a city that's got about 5,000 people in there. To get me, and then you gave him a new contract saying that you're pleased with what you've seen. That's why I wonder, Manchester United in the past, how did they do their performance review for certain roles in that club? Because it wasn't done to the best effect. In fact, the one that pissed me off the most was the assistant manager getting a new contract as well. Phil. What was his name again? Mike Phelan. You see, I'm saying
about Phelan.
Phelan, yeah, Mike Phelan. Stuff like that. It's just one thing I criticize Manchester United, and that's why I'm so for new ownership and getting the best in class and doing a proper job, you know, because these men don't do proper job. They probably hired Stevie Wonder in that upstairs, and then he's doing the performance review. And you're asking Stevie, what have you seen of Ollie? I can't see. I can't see, Patrick. Yeah, me. I've respect. I can't see. Like, I've just been told to give him a good review because of Ed Woodward and because of Gary Neville and etc. and such and so and Sir Alex Ferguson. But it is what it is, man. I just hoping that the best people come to the club once these new owners come in, whether it's the Qatar or Radcliffe or investors. That I hope the investors just tell the Glazers that we want new people inside the board before we invest.
Big up to Eddie every single time. Says, what up, boys? Hit the like and subscribe, people. Shout out the chat every time. Big up my guy Eddie every single time. Over 60 of you lot in the building. Let's get up to 50 likes, people. We're at 34 likes. Let's bump that up. Like check 1212. Get us up to 50 likes, people. And we're looking still for 5 new subscribers, people. Get us to 6,300. 5 new subscribers. There's over 60 of you lot in the building. I know there's at least 5 of you lot who haven't hit that subscribe button. Hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell, because it helps the channel grow. It really does help the channel grow. This is why every live stream I talk about it and bang on about it. And if you don't want me to stop interrupting the conversation and, stopping the flow, then make sure you hit the like button. Make sure you subscribe. I want to see 50 likes, people. I want to see 50 likes. And like I said, hit the subscribe button. I want us to get to 6,300. It is road to 7K. There's a couple comments I actually wanted to get to as well. You lot continue to get your questions in, please. Matthew, he says, have you been impressed with Michael Carrick and McKenna? How they've done as managers? Look like they carried Ollie. I've not really been following too tough. I did see a tweet about it that they've been doing well in the championship. But the key word in what I just said in that sentence there, championship. That's the level they're at. A level Ivorian and myself and others accused Ollie of being at. No disrespect to them. But why are championship level managers or coaches at Manchester United? That shouldn't be happening. When you look at us previously, take it back to Sir Alex Ferguson. I take it all the way back to his first assistant. I believe so. I believe it was his first assistant anyway, or first successful assistant. Brian Kidd, for those that don't know. Brian Kidd was assistant of Manchester United, like in the early 90s. He left, went and managed in the Premier League. Okay, he wasn't successful, but he still managed in the Premier League. We also had Steve McLaren. Some of you don't know. He managed in the Premier League. Also got the England job. Also managed in the Dutch league. Carlos Queiroz, who was assistant manager, left and went to manage Real Madrid. So that's how it should be. Our assistant managers should be Premier League level coaches, Premier League level managers, even if they don't do well wherever they go. Why is it that Oli can't get a job and his two assistants are currently managing in the Championship? That goes to show the level where we was at. That goes to show the level where we was at. I seen Oli get linked with Club Brugge, I think it was last week. Why is the manager who was managing Manchester United being linked with the Belgian Pro League, a Belgian Pro League team?
Hey, I don't believe that, bro. I just don't believe it, man. I've seen my veteran trying to, he champions Oli like it's nothing, bro. He telling me that Oli's been offered jobs. I'm like, yo, can you stop lying, bro? Like, I don't believe it, bro.
that's what it is. Like, why is a manager of Manchester United being linked with a Belgian Pro League club?
Yeah.
Say what you want about Moyes, he still went and got another Premier League job. Say what you want about Mourinho, he managed in the Premier League after us and then went to Serie A. Say what you want about Van Gaal, he left and went and managed the Dutch national team. Like, there's levels to this. I kept saying this, people in football, even if they get things wrong, they're not complete idiots. I'm talking people who are running clubs. Like, they will go and get, like, if you're successful at a top club, especially in this country, you will get another chance elsewhere. We see Di Matteo win the Champions League and then go to Aston Villa. You will get it. So how come he's the only one? He's out of Manchester United, Chelsea, Arsenal, Spurs, I'm not too sure about, but Manchester United, Chelsea, Arsenal, I put Liverpool, I put City in there. I put those five. Managers who have been sacked at those clubs when they've, at any point, have went on to manage elsewhere. Even the worst managers, even at Liverpool with Roy Hodgson. Roy Hodgson still got jobs after that. He still managed at Watford. Yep. He's now back at Palace. He's been at Palace twice.
Man retired, came out of retirement.
And got a job before Oli.
That says it all to me.
Yeah.
That says it all. Laporte's been sacked by Chelsea and they brought him back.
Yeah, that's crazy.
But Oli was manager of Manchester United. That hits high in your CV. But why can't you get a job offer, bro? Yeah. Why are you gonna tell me that you've been linked with Iraq, a World Cup job? Yeah, and Club Brugge, whose Belgium league is below the Championship. You know, they're ranked below the Championship, by the way, guys. For those who think that Club Brugge is a fantastic club, yes, they get into the Champions League or the Europa League, but their league is ranked below. So that's not good enough for me. Oli can't get a job, man. He won't get a job, man. He's going to be on job seeker allowance for a while.
So people wanted a manager who can't get a job and a striker who's currently applying his trade in Saudi Arabia to be leading our line. And this is why I say all the time, if Manchester United fans ran Manchester United, we'd be in League 2. We'd be in League 2 in 4 years. I think we'd go out of business in 10. 100%. Like, without a doubt. So that's why when people say, well, your fans said this, fans are idiots. Fans are emotionally attached. Fans constantly let their emotions cloud the logic. I don't. I'm balanced. Ivorian, though, he's balanced. And I'm still saying I wouldn't be good enough in that role because I'm not qualified to do it. So go get the people who are qualified. Dennis says, big up my brother Flawless and Ivorian. I want to know Ivorian's prediction for Man United versus Sevilla. Floor's yours.
Oh, so we're going there already for the match prediction already?
Yeah, well,
that'll be later on towards the end of the show.
Yeah. Well, that's when we say prediction, we'll just say, I don't know, just give us you don't have to give your full prediction, just more so.
I'll just give you brief.
Yeah, just more so like what team you'd like to see and what you're expecting.
Yeah, do you know what? Yeah, I know Sevilla like the champions of, they're like the Real Madrid of the champions of the Europa League. You feel me, in it, and they've won it a lot of times. And of course, this is their competition. For us, on the other hand, looking at Sevilla right now, look at their league form, and we are at Old Trafford in the first leg. Manchester United can get an easy win, man. They can get an easy win, man. What Seville, like in the second page of the La Liga, I think right now probably sitting 13th or 14th. Someone can probably tell me in the chat. Yeah, someone can confirm in the chat. And then we just beat Real Betis, who's just slightly higher than them in the league. But I believe that Manchester United can get that win. Probably a 2 or 3-0 win. Starting lineup, of course, you can go with David De Gea, you can go with Aaron Wan-Bissaka, you can go with we can even afford to play Lindelof and Maguire, but we won't be doing that. But I know Varane was rested, Flawless, right? Because oh, thank God. You know, because when he's not in the team, you can think anyway when it comes to Varane. You can probably think that he's injured.
He was rested. Yeah, Sevilla are currently 13th. They are currently, how many points? They are 5 points from the bottom 3.
See what I'm saying? Yeah, so Varane back, and of course, Lisandro Martinez, hopefully, maybe Luke Shaw's back, but I doubt it. It'll be Malacia playing left back. That's what I want. In the midfield, I'm so happy they're back. King Cass and Christian Eriksen, that's what I want back in the team so they can get those minutes in their legs for the weekend in the Premier League. And up top, I told you, Flawless, I wanted to see what it looked like with Sancho, Anthony, and Rashford. And we saw that on the weekend as well. And it looks far more fluid than when we have, what's his name? Weghorst. But now that Rashford is injured, I want to see Martial back in a starting lineup with Sancho and Anthony to see that fluidity, that pace, and everything.
Yeah, because Rashford's now injured, so that's highly likely to be the front.
And we need to talk about it. We need to get our thoughts across how we think Manchester United can cope without Rashford as well. So that's on the agenda, guys. You guys let us know your thoughts as well. But yeah, definitely, that's my starting lineup. My score prediction: 3-0 Manchester United. You know.
Yeah, pretty much. So, like, I'm expecting us to treat Sevilla like we did Real Betis. Treat Sevilla like we did their city rivals. You know what I'm saying? For those that don't know, Real Betis and Sevilla. So we the kings of Sevilla. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
We the kings of Sevilla. We just beat Betis, and then we're going to roll back and beat Sevilla. And I'm expecting us to do the same as we did in the home leg and kill the game dead. First leg. At least a 3-goal margin. That's what I wanted against Real Betis. I got that 4-1. It made that second leg null and void. I'm expecting us to do that against Sevilla. Sevilla, are they worse than Dennis is always in the chat for those that don't know. Dennis is a Real Madrid fan. So obviously he's watching La Liga religiously. He's been telling me about how bad Sevilla are. Bear in mind, we beat Barcelona, who are top of La Liga. We also beat Real Betis that I just mentioned, who are 6th in La Liga. We lost to Sociedad the home game, and then we comfortably beat them away. And Sociedad are currently 4th. So no, I don't fear the team 13th in La Liga. I'm sorry. Big up to Marcel because he mentioned
Marcel,
Sevilla.
clip it.
He said Sevilla. This is their competition. I don't care about all that. I'm not scared of no team 5 points off the bottom 3 in any league, whether it's La Liga, whether it's the Bundesliga, Serie A, Ligue 1, the Belgian Pro League, whoever. No, I have zero fear about Sevilla. Zero fear. And if we go out to Sevilla, all these players need to be sold. They should be made to, if we go out to Sevilla, the players should be made to walk home from Spain. Like legit. I genuinely mean that. But I'm expecting the tie to be dead beforehand. You know what I'm saying? Way beforehand. And it's no surprise, like I said, big up to Marcel, because he said big up. I knew he was going to say that. But he also said we'd lose to Barcelona. He also said we'd lose to Newcastle. Neither of those things happened. But, so I don't worry about it. We're a better team than Sevilla. We're a miles better team. And if we were 13th, Flawless, never scared of anyone, win a treble this season, big bad Man United. I've already said we'll win a double. I stated this. I know I'm not scared of any of these teams that we're mentioning. You know why? Because we're in the Europa League. That's why. If we was in the Champions League and we're playing Real Madrid, I'd go, same way, Marcel, you should have been scared of Real Madrid and you wasn't, and then they bust your head 5-2. You know how that thing happens? Like, yes, there's very few teams I'm scared of in Europe. And Sevilla is not one of them. Because if we were 13th, you know what I'm saying, with 32 points from 28 games, Ivorian, let me ask you, would anybody be fearing us? If we were 13th in the Premier League with 32 points.
No, especially if you're a Chelsea fan. Yep. If you're a Chelsea fan, no one's fearing you right now, bro. No one's going to fear you when you're 13th, man.
Chelsea are above Sevilla.
Yeah, they look at you as an opportunity.
And we laugh and run jokes about Chelsea. And Chelsea are currently above Sevilla. And we run bants about Chelsea all day long, 24/7. But if any of us were to play Chelsea right now, none of us would fear Chelsea. So why should I fear a team worse than Chelsea on paper, people? Because I don't watch Sevilla week in, week out. But I trust Dennis and other people who are teams of Spanish teams and watch La Liga who have told me Sevilla are terrible. And their record shows it. Why are they if they're this good, why are they 5 points above the relegation zone?
Yeah, it just shows they haven't been good.
Yeah, it's not like a Real Madrid who are like having a bad season in their second, but they have Real Madrid and have quality. Who are the quality players that play for Sevilla? Someone tell me, who are these players? Who's the manager?
I know we have one of our players on loan out there.
Who is? I don't even know who's. Let me actually see their team. I actually don't know any of their players. I'm actually going to check because they just drew 2-2 to Celta Vigo. So I'm having a look right now. Someone let me know what players they've got.
They got some. I know they've got some decent players that I still remember.
Yeah, I'm looking. Wait, is that Brian? Right, they got Brian Gill. Did he not play for Spurs?
Spurs, but I think he's either been sold or went back on loan to Spain, and he's at Seville.
Shit, is he Spanish?
Yeah,
man, I didn't know he was Spanish. That's presumed he was English. I didn't know it was Spanish. Don't call Brian. You know what I'm saying?
It's probably pronounced differently, like probably Brian or something like that. Brian. That's what it is, bro.
That's it. I'm sorry, no, I'm not scared of no team.
It's like when I saw McAllister and I was thinking, this McAllister is Argentinian? So I thought McAllister was Scottish or Irish or something like that. It made no sense.
No way did they have Eric Lamela. I didn't know Lamela played for these men.
Wow. He's actually there.
Yes, Eric Lamela, Brian Gill.
Is Condombio still there?
I'm having a look now. This is just like the lineup for
I know Jesus Navas, he should still be there, innit? Because
they've got Navas, the right back. I ain't gonna lie, I don't know these players. Wait, is that? I don't know him. I thought I knew the Papa Guehi, but I don't. I thought it was a Guehi I knew, but it's not.
But that Papa Guehi might be Senegalese. I mean, Senegalese.
Yeah, Senegalese. Yeah, you're right. He's Senegalese. They got Rakitic as well, like man mentioned.
Yeah,
but he's finished. Sorry, I'm not scared of no 35-year-old Rakitic.
Yeah, he's finished.
I'm sorry. You know what I'm saying? And I'm sorry, people. In it, like no, 37-year-old Luka Modric, problem.
Still, it's Liverpool know about that. He's still a problem.
Oh shit! Can Tellers play against us? Is he ineligible?
Do you know what? Yeah, I'll be honest with you. I think people need to look into that because I remember UEFA banning the fact that if you're alone and you're playing against your parent club, you should be allowed to play. So he might be allowed to play. It depends on the loan conditions and the terms. Because I think I saw a tweet earlier on, but I think I'll have to go through it because I saw a tweet earlier on regarding Alex Telles about him being eligible to play or not. But I'm gonna let you continue the show, and I'm just gonna just have a quick dive.
Marcel said Sevilla got some decent players. Name me who's the decent players? Because I'm legit. Because I don't know these men like that. The ones I know, I'm not scared of. But I know about 3 players. Yeah, I know 3. I didn't tell us 4, but I don't know if he can. Yeah, of course, coaching was an issue. People are like with the same team we played Sevilla previously.
Simon Peach. Sorry, followers. Simon Peach has tweeted out an hour ago that on loan Alex Telles is in Seville squad to face parent club on Thursday. So yeah, he's eligible to play. So
I'm not forced either. Telles is a player I want sold. So
it'll be nice to see how he fares against us, to see whether he has developed or improved under Seville. We haven't heard much of his loan updates because I don't think they give a shit. They care more about your guy and our guy Ahmed Diallo's loan at Sunderland than Alex Telles. So it'll be nice to see whether he's improved at Seville and see how he fares against us to see whether it's worth bringing him back. But I'll be honest with you, it probably isn't. It's time to move on these players that have been signed under Oli. To be honest with you, except for
they got Acuna. He played in the World Cup.
Wow.
Yeah, the left back. Yeah, I remember him playing in the World Cup. I'm trying to be notified, people. But yeah, like I said, I'm not scared of no. Back to my original point, I'm not scared of no team 5 points above the relegation zone in their domestic league. If you don't want to be scared of him, cool. If you don't want to talk him up, cool. I'm not. Lamela and Rakitic. Lamela's not. I disagree. Lamela's not a good player. I disagree with that. And Rakitic is 35, but each to their own. Like I said, Liverpool need players, and you wouldn't take them at your club, myself.
But it's funny though. We've never really saw Lamela at his best or his finest due to the injury prone. So I'm with you. He's not good anymore. He was never good because we never got to see how good he is. It's from the day he joined Spurs, we never got to see how good he is. Do you get me? He's like Luke Shaw, always injured. You know, we still haven't seen the best of Luke Shaw. You know.
Hey, that always happens, Chris. So if we beat Sevilla, it's a great win because they got all those decent players. Rivals always big up teams and go quiet after we beat them. Exactly, Barcelona is a prime example. Crickets. That watch along that I did was the quietest watch along I've ever done at full time. Crickets. Chat was not moving. Didn't move. Like I thought I'd frozen. I was there clicking F5 on the screen because I thought StreamYard or the YouTube studio was bust. Crickets. But our halftime was flying when we was 1-0 down. Flying. So you're right, Chris. You know what I'm saying? The same people was bigging up Barcelona. And Barcelona were going to do this, and that. And Barcelona are miles better than Sevilla. Miles better than Sevilla. Off form, should I say. This is off form, of league. But Sevilla got Europa League heritage. Yeah, sure. I heard all this about Barcelona. And we packed them. Packed them. Packed them.
You see me, and I remember I was moving nervous against Barcelona, but you was dead confident.
I was confident we're going to pack them. 100%. We're going to pack Sevilla the same way we packed Barcelona and the same way we packed their city rivals as well. Same way we went to Sociedad and won. Getting packed. I'm scared of these teams. Rival fans never let, as United fans, don't ever let rival fans get you shook of teams like this. If we're playing a Real Madrid like a Chelsea out tomorrow or a Bayern Munich like City out tonight, then you'd be concerned. If you're playing the creme de la creme, you're playing like one of the top 3, 4, 5 teams in Europe, different. If we're playing Napoli, different. You know what I'm saying? Playing Napoli, people were within their right to big up Barca, though they have a better squad than you, man, and they're flying in La Liga. But people didn't look at, this is what I was talking about myself. People didn't look at it stylistically. What did I consistently say before that? I said, stylistically, we match up against these man beautifully. Yeah. That's what I stated. Beautifully. And in the new camp, ironically, you could argue we played better in the game we drew than the one we won. Because the first half against Barca in the second leg, we weren't that good. Second leg, we turned it up.
100.
And that's what happened. We battered them at the new camp. And I said this, big pitch, tiki-taka style suits us down to a T. But rather than people listen to what I'm saying, because it's me saying it, people want to bypass it. And that's exactly how it played out. Exactly how it played out. So, yeah, people went within their right. You know what I'm saying? People didn't do that. Do your due diligence and your research. Don't just look at the Liga and say they're top of the Liga. They've only conceded a few amount of goals, red to turn. Just no, how do these two teams match up? Same way you don't take two boxes, look at one's record, one look at the other's record. You look at the styles of the two. What are their styles like? All right, this guy's 20-0 and this guy's 10-5. So because he's 20-0 and he's won, the other guy, the boxers won, the other ones won 10 bouts and lost 5, it means the 20-0 is going to beat him. What do they match up like stylistically? Maybe the 20-0 struggles with someone who's a counterpuncher, and this 10-5 guy is a quality counterpuncher. Again, but feelings over facts with too many people, especially when it comes to football. Something ironically we were just talking about earlier on the stream. With emotions. And that's what it was with Barcelona. People seen Barcelona top of the league and said, yeah, they're definitely going to win. They're flying. And we packed them. Real Sociedad gave us more of a game at Old Trafford.
They found out that it doesn't work like that.
Don't work like that because stylistically, like I said, if United were playing Chelsea, nobody would be talking up Chelsea over 2 legs. And Chelsea have a better record than Sevilla. If we were playing Chelsea in the Europa League on Thursday and 2 legs, nobody would be talking up Chelsea. Who are better on paper than Sevilla. What are we doing, man? What are we doing? Now, come around. The reason why I mentioned in Barcelona is because this was the same conversations we was having about Barcelona. Oh, they're flying. They're going to beat us. It wasn't the Sevilla thing where it's, they're great in Europa. It's Barca are flying in La Liga. What did that mean? What does that mean? They led in the tie once. Because they took the lead in the first leg. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, we wasted we buyed them Stephanie G at the new camp. We just wasted loads of chances. Tie should have been over.
I remember.
I was livid after that game. Livid. I'm like, this tie should be dead, and if we lose this, I'm looking at that tie. But I was still confident. Like I said, people, all this shit I said, go watch them watch-alongs. There's a Europa League playlist on the channel. Go watch them both. in particular the second leg, and go notice the difference at halftime and at full time. Crickets. There's people I ain't seen since. Names that I ain't, and Avies I've not seen since. Let us have lost that game. Never would have heard the end of it. Never. And when this tie is over before the second leg, then what? Then it'll be Juventus are gonna beat us because of Pogba and all this crap, or Sporting are gonna beat us because of what they did to Arsenal. Even though they weren't even too great against Arsenal.
Arsenal wasn't just, they just never took their opponent seriously in that second leg. You know, they made changes to the first team. But yeah, but I don't think Sporting can knock us out the way they knocked out Arsenal, man. We want to win this league, and we want to win the Europa League, where Arsenal fans are content with just going as far as they can in Europe and win the Premier League. You heard the fans. You watch AFTV. Some of them were happy to be knocked out, and I couldn't believe it. I was like, look at you man's ambitions, you know. How are you going to be happy to be knocked out of a cup competition? You should be livid. I don't care what competition it is. I'm livid if we get knocked out. I'm angry and upset. FA Cup, Europa League, League Cup, anything, you know. Even when I hear that the youth division didn't win the league and they were close to winning it, I'm not happy. That's the ambition I have. But anyway, you want to be an Arsenal fan? You guys do your thing, innit?
Facts.
Get me?
But I don't think you man are the same type of form as you were back then. Would you agree? You man kind of faded away a bit since then. All these games catching up to you. Our performances have been like that pretty much the entire season. I don't think we've been in great form performance-wise for pretty much the entire season. I think, ironically, our best two back-to-back performances were our last two games. I've not seen someone in the chat. Let me know. Have Manchester United put together back-to-back games, Premier League games in particular, Brentford and Everton, that was that good? I don't remember that. Too good. Forget results. Talking solely performances, people. We don't perform well. You know what I'm saying?
And then we don't create that much chances like that in the game. Remember, we've been struggling to score goals,
and we
it was.
Go on, sorry, carry on.
No, and it's clear evidence because, of course, we struggled to get the goals in the convert. You saw that against Everton, and you saw the frustration and the relief of our defender Lisandro Martinez. Those clips when the second goal went in, he had that fucking hell, bro. The amount of chances we had, these mans can't score. Thank God we scored. That type of feeling that he had. So it's just evident. And I've never seen a game under Ten Hag where we've had 20 to 30 shots at goal, but over 10 on targets.
I think that was Everton
in the first half.
All
of that in the first half. Yeah,
packed Everton. That's what I'm saying. And to people saying, because Marcel also said, the games are catching up with y'all to an extent. I do agree with that to an extent. Your squad ain't big enough. Y'all are picking up injuries and looking tired. I can see it. But yeah, we're still better than Sevilla. We don't need to be at our best to beat Sevilla because we've been like this the entire season. We don't even have to be at our best to beat Barcelona. We don't have to be at our best because we're not competing against the best. This is what people get mistaken. We're not competing for the Premier League and the Champions League. We're competing for the Europa League, the FA Cup. Obviously, we won the League Cup. And the FA Cup will be a problem because of Manchester City. And there's no guarantee we get past Brighton either. But other than that, our squad's not been big enough all season. This is nothing new. Our squad has been short the entire season, and look at what we've done. And are we looking tired to, like I said, to an extent, I do agree with that. But we don't need to be at our 100% our best to beat the 13th best team in La Liga. You are 5 points off relegation. No, I don't. If we were competing for the Premier League and Champions League, different conversation. That squad's been short the entire time.
Always.
So this is nothing new. And we just put together two of our best performances back-to-back in the Premier League that I can remember. Someone, United fan, let me know in the chat. Is there two Premier League games back-to-back where we put in two forget results, where the performances have been good? Because that Everton performance in particular was very good. Very good. We packed them. Absolutely packed them. They were lucky it was only two. They were lucky it's only two. Very lucky. Ten Hag likes to play the same 11 that affects you in the long run because the squad's crap. That's why, Daniel. That's why he plays the same 11. That's why he plays the same 11. The squad's rubbish. I'm saying. June says, Sevilla are dead food. That man held 6 against a mid-Atletico team. We know they're dead. Record tells you they're dead. Go look at them. What are we doing? What's your score? Actually, since we're speaking on that before we move on, what's your scoreline prediction for it?
It's a 3-0. 3-0 against Seville straight up, man. 3 goals. I'm not going to tell you who I think will score, because it's Manchester United. We don't have our main goal scorer there. We're just hoping that someone like Martial can step up. And you know what? It would be nice to see Sancho score. I enjoyed Sancho on the weekend. For those who have been onto him, I've been onto him. Flawless has been onto him fairly as well, and equally. It's only right. But it was nice to see him like enjoying his football again, and I want long may it continues, and I hope against Sevilla he gets a brace or something like that to lift up the mood, and Anthony gets a goal in, because that's what we want to see. So yeah, man, let's hope 3-0 from me, Manchester United against Sevilla, and then take it to Sevilla in Spain, and then finish them off there.
Mm-hmm. So I've already said 3-0. What you saying, Flawless? Let me write it down. I'm here all the time, so don't do that.
He just wants to clip. He just wants to clip people.
Nah, he try clip, you know what I'm saying? Because when they got packed 5-2 by Madrid, he wasn't here, so we moved. But yeah, so I've already said 3-0. What you saying, Flawless? I'm going one further than 3. I'm saying 4-0. I'm saying 4-0. Write it down. Like I won't be here before the game, during the game, after the game, before the second leg, during the second leg, and after the second leg. I'm always here. Always here, all the time. So yeah, 4-0, I'm saying first leg. Don't put this to bed. Flawless Martial back to haunt his lone side, hopefully United 2-0. And that's with, and even if Rashford don't play, even without Rashford, I think where we struggle without Rashford, and me and Ivor are going to discuss this, is the Brighton game. That's what it is. That's where it is. When I start Martial, I'll bring him on as a sub, I'd start him. I know Jeremiah mentioned him about not starting him because of the injury, but I would not start him against Forest on the weekend. I'd start him against Sevilla because I think it's the more important game. So that's just my personal opinion on it. So I would not start Martial, yes. I go Martial, Anthony Sancho, Bruno, Casemiro, Ericsson, Malacia, Wan-Bissaka, Varane, Martinez, De Gea. That's what it is. Nah, Black Diamond, it's not even a getting giddy thing. I'm tired of people talking up teams. Because if we were 5 points off relegation, we're getting clowned. All of a sudden, it's fear Sevilla. How do you not fear Sevilla? Because they're 5 points off relegation. That's why. Same way nobody fears Chelsea. Because they're in 11th. Let's not act like these things don't matter and don't count. We're not going to take it away because it's a rival. If we were 5 points above relegation at the start of April, nobody is fearing us. You know what I'm saying? Me and Ivorian won't even be able to talk because of the amount of trolling that's going on in the chat. We get defeats and people want to troll. We lost to Newcastle, arguably the third best team in the Premier League, and people were trolling and had so much to say about Ten Hag and so much to say about our team and all this nonsense of him being like Ollie. Third best team, and arguably the third best team in the league. A lot of people think they will finish third. And we got beat away to them. And people were talking. But a team who are 5 points above relegation in the Liga, I should fear. It makes no sense. It's just an agenda and it stinks. So that's why I'm talking in this manner. That's why. 2-0 when Daniel said 2-1. Hey, man, I love it, man. Rival Sully. Love it. What are you saying, no?
Love it.
Ivorian. Rashford is injured. Yeah, you said 3-0 on Sevilla, but yeah. Rashford's injured.
Just when I started liking Rashford again, because I've been on to Rashford like he's my little brother, because I want to see the best from Rashford all the time. I try to push him as much as he can. But this injury right here, one thing I have to say is that it hurts Manchester United, but I know our club, we've lost a lot throughout the whole season. We went through a season without having Martial fit. We went through majority of the season with only having one striker fit. We went through a season, half of the season, last couple of months, we haven't had Casemiro for a good 6-7 games in the last 2 months or 3 months. We haven't had Christian Eriksen for the last 2-3 months. We've had it all. We have had everything, and we've been able to do with it. But the only thing is, this is Rashford, and he's scored majority of our goals. Can Manchester United cope without Rashford, knowing that Martial might potentially get injured again? You just never know with Martial. The guy can get up and pull an injury. He can brush his teeth, and you just don't know about Martial. That's how injury prone he is. And then you got Weghorst, who's not scoring the goals that he's meant to be scoring, maybe because he's not good enough, or the players are just simply cannot find him, cannot get the ball to his feet, cannot get the ball to his head. It's either one. So it's that one there. It's going to be a big blow for Manchester United. But I'm confident that Ten Hag always has a plan. He always has a plan, and we'll find ways to get goals. But I think that we will struggle to get the goals in Maybe against Seville will be easier because of the level of opponents that we're playing and where they are at. But when it comes to the game against, let's say, the FA Cup against Brighton, it's going to be a struggle. This weekend as well as Premier League game, we just don't know, man. We're going to have to hang our hopes on that Martial stays fit. Yeah, because with Martial leading the front and you have someone like Sancho and Anthony on the wing, there are opportunities for goals. There always will be. And with Casemiro and Christian Eriksen coming back, it makes things better. It makes things easier. Like, because imagine if they weren't returning and we just lost Marcus Rashford, you would not be at ease, man. Right now, the only reason why I'm okay is because of the players that have returned. It's like one player gets injured, the other player returns. A good player returns, and a good player gets injured. That's what we've been receiving throughout the whole season. It's like we're getting calmer for some reason. But I'm glad that Christian Eriksen and Casemiro are back. Anthony Martial are back. If it means losing Rashford, it's a good thing because at the end of the day, they have to step up. And with them two midfielders coming back, what does it equal? It means that we're going to have a stable midfield. We're going to finally start winning the midfield battle because we've been losing every single midfield battle for the last 2 to 3 months since these guys have been injured, you know? So, and then of course, the level of creativity increases because you've got Casemiro who can create from deep line as a deep line playmaker. You have Harrison that's also that can create from deep and help support Bruno who has been creating and doing nonsense at the same time. You feel me? So it makes things easier for us knowing that we've got those guys that can help create and make opportunities for these strikers because we was lacking that. The reason why we wasn't scoring is because we was missing Casemiro and Eriksen. You guys don't deep Eriksen. Before Eriksen got injured, he was the top lead assistant for a midfielder, and he was playing further behind Bruno Fernandes. And Bruno Fernandes was not the top assist for Manchester United during that time. He probably has to pass him now because he's played more games than him. But having Eriksen there, Eriksen will find the first time pass, you know, and so will Casemiro, and then create the opportunities. Maybe for Weghorst to probably finally get some goals. You might see a better Weghorst. We just never know. But yeah, I think we'll be all right, Flawless. You know, we'll be all right, man.
We're fine.
I mean, get me. As long as Ten Hag, like Weezy said when he said, as long as Drake is on the hook, we'll be all right. As long as Ten Hag is still there, we will be all right, bro.
Need to change that to Nate Dogg, but I hear that phrase. You know what I'm saying? I'm taking that, but switching it, man. As long as Nate Dogg's on the hook, we'll be all right.
Yeah, we're gonna be all right. Yeah.
Nate Dogg, the king of hooks, people. Never get that mistaken, but that's a whole different conversation. To Eddie says, any news on the Rashford injury? No, nothing so far. Nothing so far. I'm guessing it'll be 3-4 weeks. That's just me, because that's normally, it seemed like a groin injury. That's what it is. So normally it's that. You lot continue to get your questions in as well.
Do you know what? That's the thing about sorry. The thing about Ten Hag, he doesn't reveal anything. He doesn't tell you anything. Nothing at all. He'll tell you how long the injury is. I like him, you know. I like him for that, you know. He keeps us guessing, thinking, "Raw, when are they going to return?" But it's not. He basically tells them it's none of your business. I'll let you know when they're back. But yes, Flawless, as you were saying.
Yeah, because Marcel also said, let me see. He said football, I'm missing it, but he said football don't work like that in regards to the Sevilla situation. So I'm going to just kill this dead again because people use this and this logic makes no sense to me. Because he said here, I even find it.
You need to find that comment because I'm trying to find it as well.
Yeah. So he says, I'm not saying fear them. You know what I'm saying? Even though you said we're big by Manchester United, but remember 2 + 2 don't always equal 4 in football, so be wary. No, I won't be wary because then I could say this, we're playing the side League One, you know what I'm saying, over 2 legs. So we should beat them. But 2 + 2 doesn't equal 4. You can put any game in front of this statement and it makes sense. That's why I don't use this, 2 + 2 don't equal 4. We know who the favorites are. That's why, Marcel, you won't put money on Sevilla going through. Because Sevilla are big odds at the bookmakers. So to anyone who thinks Sevilla's got a chance, go put money on it. And to those that don't gamble, tell your loved ones. Tell your best friend. Because I guarantee Sevilla at least double the money. And I've not even checked. You put on £10, you're at least getting £20 back. So if Sevilla, you man are so confident on Sevilla and be wary and all this, go get rich in it. Say this all the time with people to unpopular opinions. No one ever goes and puts bets on them. Put your money where your mouth is, literally. Go put your money where your mouth is, in it. All them people that back Barcelona, no one put money on Barcelona. I'm saying, go, you don't even have to gamble with me. I'm saying go gamble at the bookies. And if you don't gamble for whatever reason, it may be religious or you don't do that, tell your loved ones. Someone around you bets. So if you're that confident, go tell them, put money on it and become rich then. Go put £50 and get 150 back. Because they're going to break you off. You know what I'm saying? And that. Nah, it's not all right with all that chess because you know I'm right. It's not all that chess. You know I'm right because you won't put money on it, master. This is the point I'm making. People just be talking for talking's sake. Go put money on Sevilla to knock out Manchester United. You will not do it. You won't bet me. You won't bet Ivorian. You're not betting nobody. Nobody. No one's putting any sort of money on it. I'll take that bet with anybody right now. Anybody. You name the amount. It can be £1 or we can bet £100. Whatever you want, people. And if you don't want to gamble me, go to the bookies because they'll give you better odds than me. What we doing here? Because I guarantee if I said I'll bet that we beat Manchester City in the FA Cup final, people gonna take that bet. Guarantee if I put that out, people gonna take that bet. Why? Because City are favorites. Let's not act like being favorites in football don't matter. Let's not act like these things don't matter. What, Sevilla? What? 15-2. Sevilla. 15 exactly. 15-2 for a friggin' reason. What we talking about here?
Make money if they win, though. But yeah, but Flawless, we need to get your take on the on the Rashford situation before Marcel distracted you.
Yeah.
I have to say, Marcel, you love distracting Flawless, you know.
That's because Marcel, my guy, don't get mistaken, people, but he just be talking nonsense. I'm saying
even Don Dada had to say it always turns into WWE, like
because it's just straight hate, like acting like I shouldn't be confident against Sevilla when he was confident against Real Madrid with that Liverpool side. He was confident against Real Madrid, but I should be confident against Sevilla. When the gap between us and Sevilla is bigger, no, the gap between Real Madrid and Liverpool is just as it's even bigger actually. It's just as big in terms of size. Real Madrid are a miles better team than Liverpool. Manchester United are a miles better team than Sevilla. What are we doing here? Liverpool are actually, exactly that. Liverpool are actually, I think, they are technically closer to Real Madrid than Sevilla are to us league-wise. This is not what we're doing. Yeah. Like I said, you people so confident, go put money on it then and get rich. Man just said they're 15-2, and you'll probably get better odds depending on whatever bookmakers you're with. And I'm not encouraging anybody to gamble. Just, quick spoiler alert, people. Quick spoiler. Make sure you only gamble if you're over the legal age. Yes. That's all I would say. If you're over the legal age.
And bet wisely. Yeah. That's what they're saying.
Man said, I'm not even hating. I'm just speaking from you're not a neutral because you are a Liverpool fan. So you don't speak on neutral point of view from in a Manchester United game. Same way I don't speak from a neutral point of view in a Liverpool game. Even though I said you get beat by Real Madrid, and you was confident you beat Real Madrid. Why, I don't know. And I told you ain't winning this game. And you lot got packed. Game was over. I'm saying, but here we go. Like I said, no one ain't taking the bet, people. Notice I said that 5 minutes ago. When people talk about Sevilla, this and that. Yo, let's bet. You name the price, people. You can bet in any currency you want. Pounds, euros, you know what I'm saying? The Wakandan currency, yen, whatever, man. Wherever you don't want to go, dirhams, dollars, whatever. I ain't taking that bet, man. Whatever, man. It's crazy. But yeah, Rashford's injury?
Yes.
Could be key. You know what I'm saying? And that could be it could be the reason why we don't go through in the FA Cup semi-final. That's the only game. Let's say he's out technically for a month. That's the only game I look at and go, he'll be a big miss there. I think we get past Sevilla without him comfortably. And the league games, we might drop points without him, but I'm not too fussed about top four. Never celebrated it. It's of the least importance to me. I'm looking at the Europa League. I'm looking at the FA Cup. So that's what it is. I'm just hoping we don't rush him back, Rashford. And it's a shame he's got injured as Martial is now playing. But with Martial, with Anthony, with Sancho, I trust ourselves to create enough. And we created so many chances against Everton. The only criticism I have of us in that game that we only scored twice. But if we create that many chances just in general, we're going to score goals. Like somebody's going to take a beating. You know what I'm saying? Like someone going to take a beating. So that's how I'm looking at it. But hopefully he'll be back like within 3 to 4 weeks. You lot, we hit 50 likes, so big up to you lot. Let's continue to bump that up. Hit the subscribe button as well. Like I'm saying, hit the subscribe button as well. Yeah, man. So put some put whatever on it. You know what I'm saying? Put whatever on it. Like I say, all these people talking about it, go get rich then. Say it all the time. No one ever goes and bets. No one. There's a reason for that. Because people just be talking to be talking. No one don't want to put their money where their mouth is, literally. I will if I'm super confident on something. How How good does it say have Casemiro and Eriksen again? Ivorian already spoke on it. I could have
Yeah, I
cried
did.
when I seen Eriksen get on the pitch. In 87. I could have shed tears.
Emotional. It's
Missed
emotional.
Missed him so much. You know what I'm saying? He's so key to what we do. I'm saying he's so key to what we do. Flawless, I must apologize to Sabit, so I didn't know that you're this good. Glad to be proved wrong. Yeah, he's been an effective player, and I would sign him as a squad player. What's your thoughts on Sabitzer?
To be fair, I thought the game against Everton, he had a sublime game, a very good game, man. And the fact that he was playing ahead of Bruno Fernandes, playing in Bruno's number 10 position, he done so well, man. The link-up play and getting himself up and about and everything. I think he will be an excellent addition to the squad. Someone that can come in as well and step in when we have injuries, you know. With him, I feel like the level doesn't drop off as much as when you have a McTominay replacing Casemiro compared to where you have a Sabitzer replacing Eriksen or Bruno Fernandes in that midfield. It's not that much of a drop off because, of course, he's a good player. Come on, he played. He came from Bayern Munich. He played for Bayern Munich. He played for Leipzig. He played in the Champions League. He's well experienced as well. He was just unfortunate not to get some goals in. One goal is not enough, and one or two assists that he's had so far is not enough. I think at the moment we are seeing Sabitzer well acclimatizing himself to the Premier League, nice and slow. But each week, each game his performance is getting better, stronger. And yeah, man, I will be up for him being signed by Manchester United in the summer. You know, not much for Weghorst, but definitely Sabitzer. I feel like he's got a place in this team, in the squad.
Yeah, and that's what I look at it with Sabitzer. Fully agree. And for 20 million, I would sign him and have him as a squad player. We're seeing he's a good 8. We've seen him advance. He's a better version of Fred to me. Yeah, he gives you everything Fred gives you, plus more from a technical standpoint.
But bonus having Sabitzer is that he plays in every position, like from left mid, right wing, number 10. I've seen him playing in so many other positions for RB Leipzig as well. Sometimes up front. I remember that time he was playing from RB Leipzig up front. So it's good. It's good to have a player like that in your squads. We all remember what it was like to have utility men like John O'Shea, you know, fabulous footballer, you know, play left back, centre back, right back, centre defensive midfielder, left midfielder, right midfielder, like stuff like that. You don't get that all the time, man. Right. Marcel might know he's got a utility man in his team that's about 40 years old. He knows who that is. You get me? But it's good to have players like that in your team that can just do the job in various positions.
To Chris, who says it's a bit to that guy. I'm still not sold. I like him, but I want this lineup upgraded, and he still seems like a backup. That's why I said squad player. I've said this verbatim. I want him as the 5th choice. I want him as the 5th choice midfielder. He should be 5 or 5. I've said upgrade on Eriksen, back up to Casemiro. Then you have 4. Add Sabitzer, that's 5. If you really want to keep Fred, I won't argue, and Fred is 6. But Sabitzer should be 5 or 5. He should be the worst midfielder at the club, the worst senior midfielder at the club. That should be the levels we're at. So when I say I'm sold on Sabitzer in that role, to me, he's better than McTominay, and he's a better version of Fred. He gives you everything Fred does plus more. So the energy, tenacity, the tackling, but then on the ball, he's technically secure. Yeah, he's a better passer. The goal he scored against Fulham, where he dinked it, quality. And again, squad. Plus, he's cheap. If they're talking 20 million, that's a steal. Why would you not go and get us a bit? They definitely need to go get us a bit. If needs, where would you play McTominay up front? He's shown he can finish given the chance. McTominay on the bench. That's where McTominay needs to be. So he needs to play from the bench.
Yeah, I'm not. Well, what's good? I am not sold when people was telling me, McTominay up front. You used to be a striker, all that kind of stuff. Aaron Wan-Bissaka used to be a winger, but you'll never see it. I don't see it with this guy, man. With maybe because I just don't rate him, and once I don't rate you, I really don't rate you. I think that's how I am in life. And if I don't like you, I really don't like you. Like, and I will make it obvious. Like, I'll let you know that I don't like you. You get me? So I think that won't change with McTominay because he's been here for so long, and I've been convinced for him to leave a long time ago. Even when he scored the 4 goals in international, I was in the group chat. I was still saying, Yeah, but he still needs to leave though. Like, we need to move on from this. You know,
Yes,
I don't.
yeah.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
I don't really
Agree.
care if he's come for the academy. He's part of the family. I'll tell everyone right now. Some family members do get kicked out of the family, so it's okay to kick him out of the family. You know, don't be sentimental, like, because Manchester United is a family club. Some members of the family get kicked out of the family. It happens.
And to
Rollers
answer
knows
this,
that.
yeah, facts. 20
Mhm.
million for Sabitzer, still more like 10, 15 million, in my opinion. Not paying 20 million for no utility, man. That's you in it. Like I said, I would spend it. You
20
said
million is a
15,
utility, man.
20 million. I'm
Mhm.
taking this. That's a steal for a squad player of his caliber. 20 million is nothing. That's peanuts. Absolute peanuts. I've seen you lot spend 60, 70 million on Nunes. Like, what we doing here? Like, this
I
is
think
not
it's,
what
I
we doing.
think it's about 100 mil still.
Yeah, like 50 on K and stuff. Yeah, so I would pay 20 million. He's better than a utility, man. He's a good squad player. And he'll be important, as we see in this season. Just in a short space of time, we've seen the impact he's had. And he's miles better because he's behind Eriksen and Casemiro. He's our third choice. Well, he should be fifth in an ideal world. But yes, I'm paying 20 million for Sabitzer. It's cheap. That's peanuts. But that's just me. Oh, yeah, we know Sabitzer starts for Liverpool. 100%. Without doubt.
Definitely. We've seen that midfield.
Yeah.
Oh,
20 millions are a bargain. For any player of any, if he's of any quality, and he's of quality, he's 20 million. It's just nothing. I'm saying in that. Yeah, it's a steal, but it's Marcel in it, so we move. I'm saying you lot continue to bump up the likes as well. Continue to make sure you subscribe to Ivorian's channel. Links in the title. Red United TV. Get your final few questions in before we close out. Oh yeah, we've not actually spoken on it. Clear out. The clear out.
Yes.
Clear out. Look at the smile on his face. So me and you have spoken on this so many times in terms, but reports came out. How true this is, I don't know, people. So this is all rumors. Don't take this as concrete truth or concrete evidence. But United, there was potential clear out. What players currently with the team now? So forget youngsters, forget the players who are out on loan, forget Phil Jones.
Oh, come on, man. That's my first thing in my mind is Phil Jones, bro. Like, he keeps on getting away with it when people are doing clear outs. They forget to mention Jones.
Yeah, so we'll throw Jones in there then. So who are you looking losing currently in the senior squad that you're like, I would get rid of?
So you've mentioned players. I can't mention players that's been on. It's currently out on loan. So I can't mention someone like, for example, Eric Bailly, who's returning.
We'll mention them separately. We'll do the loan players separately.
So we look at the current roster. Who would I sell? Lindelof needs to be sold, needs to be moved on. McTominay needs to be moved on. In my opinion, Donny van der Beek's transfer has never worked out. He needs to be moved on. Yeah, that one's a shocker for you guys, but it hasn't worked out. And let's not keep hoping that it will work out, man. Let's move on from that. Who else is in that team? Tuan Sebe's still there, so he needs to be moved on. I still believe he's at the club. Who else is still there that needs to be gone? I think, in my opinion, you guys won't like it. Obviously, Maguire, but you guys won't like it. But I feel like we need to move on Luke Shaw, but he just signed a new contract. Maybe that's just me being personal, but let's not let that cloud my judgment. You know,
would you keep him as backup if he was a backup?
Backup. If anything, backup centre back would be good because we've seen him play in that position. He's done well. Looking at the midfield, who else needs to be gone? I've said Van der Beek. I've said McTominay. I can potentially keep Fred for another season, just so that I spend wisely in all other departments. Even though I've bought someone in midfield to come in to replace the other guys that I've got rid of. And you look up front, obviously Weghorst is going back to where he came from. You know what? Yeah, I'll be honest with you guys. It's time to sell Martial. Like, it's been 8-9 years. It's time to get rid of him, man. The inconsistency, the injuries, the fact that he's got a Ballon d'Or clause on and we know that he's never going to release that potential because of his age now, and he's probably regressed in terms of his development due to injuries and being inconsistent. Definitely, I will sell Martial and bring in a new strike, bring in two or three new strikers if you have to. One main, one backup to the backup, and one backup. Do you feel me? But yeah, Martial and. Looking at the wingers as well in the current squad, Alanga. I don't know how I missed that one out.
Jesus, yeah, Alanga's a shout.
Yeah,
Jesus.
yeah. From the top of my head, that's all I can think
This is
of.
that's bad. You might off the top of my head. You know, that's the majority of the
Sorry.
team.
Who's the goalkeepers that's there? The backup goalkeepers needs to go. You get me?
Butland.
Butland. Oh, they need to go. There's no point. I can keep De Gea and keep him as a backup if he's willing to just do backup dancing or take time to, you know, slowly introduce the new guy, you know, show him the ropes and all that kind of stuff. We can keep De Gea for that, man. But I think I said quite a lot, and majority of the whole team probably. I think so. You tell me, Flawless, if I've mentioned the majority of the whole team and kept.
You mentioned everyone. Yeah, and Paulie did mention Donny. So for me,
Mhm.
yes, I would move on De Gea. Yeah,
Mhm.
I would.
Mhm.
De Gea. The backups, I'm not
argue.
really too fussed about with the goalkeepers because like they're backups. We barely see you. Dallo, I'd move on.
Okay.
Maguire and Lindelof, I'd move on.
Mhm.
McTominay and Fred, I'd move on. Donny, I'd move on. Martial for the right price, I'd move on.
Mhm. Yeah.
Because the Martial one's a weird one because it depends on his. If he accepted being third choice, then I would
Mhm.
keep him. But if he were to
Mhm.
like kick up a fuss, then I wouldn't. Alanga as well. Yeah, there's another one I move on. I think that's it from the current roster. I don't think I've missed anybody. If I have somebody, let me know. Or if there's someone you don't want to ask
We went
about.
through them if we went defense.
Yeah, I went
up
goalkeeper,
front.
defense. I went goalkeeper, fullback, centre backs, central midfielders, attacking midfielders, wide players that I keep all of them minus Alanga, and then striker.
Mhm.
Like I say with Martial. Yes, definitely, G man. You gotta be ruthless in this game, man.
Yeah, you want to be the
I'll be
best.
ruthless. And then I've spoken depth about like players. I'd go and get a whole new spine pretty much. I'd go get a goalkeeper. I'd go get a first choice central midfielder who's an upgrade on Ericsson. I'd go get a new number 10. I'd go and get a new striker. And that's just the first team. Then I'm backing that up. I'd go sign a centre back. I'd go sign 2 midfielders, one of them being a backup to Casemiro. I'd go and sign 2 strikers behind the one that we the first choice when we signed. And then that's that. Team will ball out.
Yeah, we got to ball out.
I'm saying maybe we should be in charge of worrying. I think we'd have this transfer thing patterned up.
Definitely, man plays enough football manager, you know, and you hear that guy that's managing in France, bro. He used to play FM, bro, and he's a football manager.
Wait, who's this guy that used to play FM?
Will Steve, something like that. Something like that. He manages Le Mans or whatever, or Rams or Rems, whatever team that is in France, and they're doing well. They're doing well. The guy,
what did they
the guy doesn't even have the guy doesn't even have a UEFA Pro license. That club gets fined 25,000 for each match he manages. He will still.
That's crazy.
Yeah, look up on him.
Was it based off of? Was it based off?
It's not based off of Football Manager. Let's be real. Okay. Like the guy started off playing the Football Manager, you know, just to understand tactics of football. But he actually went to do some coaching. He done some courses and etc. Yeah, and obviously traveled around, so they did get himself involved into football, and then eventually became a Football Manager. But just know that he doesn't have his qualifications. You get me?
Well, still.
You get me? Man's doing even better than Ollie, and Ollie's been in the game for 12 years.
He used to play ball as well.
No, well, play ball or not, bro. The guy got his. Listen to his story. The guy spoke about Football Manager, and now it inspired him to become a man. Because he used to kick ball, but it inspired him to become a manager as well and try the managing lifestyle. And this guy's better than Ollie, and he's only been here for a couple of years. And Ollie's had an L plate for 10 years. I can't believe it, man. Someone that has an L plate for 10 years, and you're telling me he's learning on the job. You can't have an L plate on your car for 10 years and you're still learning how to drive. You get me? Oh, you can't be in a job for 10 years and you're still on probation. Does that make sense to you? And you're trying to convince me that someone that's been in a job, a professional manager for more than 10 years, is still learning on the job. This is how they try to con us, you know, Manchester United. They try to con us, you know.
You're a joke, man. You're a joke, man. I swear down. But yeah, you spot on. You spot on with what you're saying. You have. Paul says Ivorian United linked to Feyenoord Mexican striker Santiago Jimenez. Listen. Any good? Do you know?
Listen, I'll be very honest with you. Never seen him.
Never.
Don't know who he is. Get me. Ivorian Spice is allowed to not know certain players, you know.
It's cool, man. You know what I'm saying? You ain't gonna lie and be like, yeah, I've watched him and all this stuff. You know what I'm saying? A lot of teams are inquiring on Elanga, Palestri, Wan-Bissaka, etc. Other teams want. I think that some of the players play simple as saying that. Yeah, man, we can move on. We can move on some of these players, 100%. There's no doubt about that. The question is the takeover and then the investment that's going to be needed. But even when me and Ivorian did a ManDem United and we was discussing who we could sign, it won't even cost that much. All right, let's say the new goalkeeper is 70 M's, 80 M's. Let's say 70, 80 M's. Then new right back. Let's say the new right back, new left back combined, they're both 100 M's. So that's 170.
A lot of money, bro. Wow.
Let's say, nah, we ain't Liverpool. It's not a lot of money. That's their budget. This is with new owners. That's what. Bear in mind, this is without players. I've not sold anybody yet. So let's say that's a 170. Kim Min Jae, they're saying his release clause is like 45 M's. So let's say we're at that's 220. Let's say 220. Let's throw Sabitzer on top of that 240. That's 240 million. We go inside the upgrade on Casemiro. Let's say it's Lavia. 60. That's 300 M's. Upgrade on Ericsson.
You haven't even bought your striker yet, bro.
No, we're gonna get there. We're gonna get there. Upgrade on Ericsson. That's gonna cost a lot. Upgrade on Ericsson. Let's say that player's 60 M's. Let's say. So that's 360. Maddison, if Leicester get relegated, how much would he be? That's 50. Yeah. So let's just say we're at 410. 2 strikers. I'm saying one at 70, one, and then the backup's 50. So that's what, like 550 million I've spent to fully reinvest that squad. That's 550. All right, let's do the sale. So let's say 550. That's just a ballpark figure, people. You know what I'm saying? And I was just using ballpark figures. De Gea, how much you think? What would you say? Give me a figure for De Gea that we'd get if we sold it.
I feel like at his age and his value, you're looking between 10 to 20 million. Nothing much.
You don't think we'll get more than 20 mil?
No.
Not even 30?
No, not at all. It's
so what's the max you think we could get for De Gea?
33, 34. Towards the end of his career, this is the twilight end of his career, and this is his last deal. I don't see anyone paying 350k for him a week. Yeah, so he's gonna have to take a loss somewhere.
So you're saying 20 M's? No. Yeah. Play simple. I'm making a point. I've just said 550.
I think 20 M's. No more than 30 M's for De Gea.
Okay, but use 30 M's. All right, so 30 M's for De Gea. Dalot.
Around the same price, 30 to 40 million.
So that's all right. So let's say 60. Right with Dalot. Lindelof.
30? Looking at it, 20? Yeah, 30, less than what we paid.
So we're at 90. Yeah. All right, don't be over the top with the next one I'm about to say. Harry Maguire.
English tax, bro. Let's English tax any dickhead that comes for him, bro. Because we got taken for mugs. We're trying to get at least 50 million for him, but it's gonna be very, very hard. And we have to
so let's say it's 40. That takes us to 140 million now. That's 140 million. Okay.
Yep.
McTominay.
You know what? I'm hearing that Newcastle interested in.
I heard it. Let's say how much
they quoted us Longstaff for 50 million. We're gonna do the same damn goddamn thing.
So
we're gonna give them Scottish.
Let's say 20. Let's say 20 M's for him.
No, 50.
All right, this guy. All right, we'll say 30. We'll say 30. All right, 40.
All right, 40.
This guy. Let's say 40. So that's 180. Fred.
They're hard to sell, 35 to 50 million if we
okay,
can get
so are we saying 30 million for Fred?
Yeah.
All right, that's 170. Donny van der Beek.
20. You see how I'm silent when I hear these names because I don't feel like they're worth 20. We go with 20. I can go with 20.
All right, that's 190. You said move on Martial as well.
Yeah. Martial for how much we've paid for his current age, his value, still got potential. 40 to 50, bro. We're gonna have to get some good return on him.
Let's say it's 40. That's now 230. Alanga.
Alanga
10.
Whatever we can get for him. Yeah, 10.
Okay. So Alanga 10. That's 250. Now let's go into the players who buy 10 million.
10, 15 million. Yep. I'm good with that.
That's 250 by Axel.
He probably might be released.
All right, so Axel will be released. Tell us
probably 20 million.
10. All right, so now we're at 270. So we'll stop there at 270. So my
That's
rebuild
a good return.
My rebuild was 550. You've just sold 270. So what's our rebuild?
To 550. You got. I reckon you got about 300. You've made like a 300 net, bro.
So basically, we've improved our whole team for 300 million.
Yeah, we literally just spent about 250 to 90 million realistically out of all those players. Yeah,
that's not unreal. Obviously, people, that's not going to happen. But I was making a point of this. If they wanted to do something like that, they could with new ownership. If they could, I've said spend 550 million, and let's say we've made 300. That's the 250 million we've improved our team. All the players I mentioned you liked, and all the positions correct in regards to players and profiles, and all the players you wanted sold also got sold. So that's how I'm looking at it. Yeah, Mason, I'm just saying we put them all on silly wages, so we're gonna have to sell them cheaper, of course. But I was just using that without having to break it down further to show that we're not that far away. So who are going to be the squad players is very clear. So in terms
of the guys who used to be in the first team go to the bench.
So I'll explain that to you, Josiah. So the squad players would be the goalkeepers, whoever's the backups to the new choice. Wan-Bissaka, Malacia is each of the fullbacks. Kim Min-jae, Varane and Martinez can all battle out for the places, competition for places. Shaw will be back up to Martinez. He can also play left back. We'll have a backup to Casemiro. Ericsson will also be a squad player with Sabitzer. Bruno and the new number 10, whoever that is, can fight out for the number 10 position. Wingers stay the same with Rashford, Sancho, Anthony, Diallo, Palestri, all fighting for the wide berths. Strikers, the 2 new strikers or 3 new strikers will fight for that spot. Obviously, we'll sign whether it's a Harry Kane, a Tony, a Osimhen, a Vlahovic, a youngster, and they can fight out for that position. So that's who the squad players will be. People don't talk about Manchester City and who will be the squad players.
I would love to have Ivan Toney.
Ivan Toney's my first choice.
Yeah. First choice, second choice. I just want him at the club, whether it's to start or compete. He would be a very good addition to Manchester United. I think he's ready for that next step in his footballing career. He deserves it, man. I always say that I love someone who has come from afar, that strided and hustled to get to where they need to get, leaving Newcastle, going into Championship, going to non-league football and all that kind of stuff. I'm a fan of that for those who come from afar to reach all the way to the top. So yeah, I would love to see Ivan Toney, not just because of his history, but he's cold. Like, come on, man. He's technically sound. He scores goals for Brentford. It's not easy. And he's good. He's good. Like, I'm surprised he doesn't have that much English caps. But that's another story, bro.
Yeah. So, and that's legit it. And yeah, play simple, selling them around 270 million. So I'm just saying, as much as we don't rate these players, they still have some form of they have some form of value in terms of selling. That's what it is. And yeah, Mason, you got here late, but we spoke on this right at the start of the show in regards to, I'd like to see footballing people put into roles upstairs before we do any business. Absolutely. You know what I'm saying? Absolutely. We discussed this just before you got here, but yes. Yeah, Stephanie G, United Purge. Absolutely. Like you called me ruthless, that's how it's got to be. If I had my way, I'd probably sell even more of the players than that. I'm saying I was a little bit lighter with my approach there, but I've already said, I think when we totaled it up, I think we did it on an episode last week. I think it was like 15, 16 players, but that was like including loan players and like youth players, like players I'd forgot, like Tellers and Bailly and Brandon Williams and Axel and all them type of players.
Maybe blood need to be spilt for us to start over again with that Purge, man. Yeah, man. You know how it is.
We've seen the Purge. Well, I've seen the first one. They're actually very good films. I've not seen the third one, though. I've not seen the third one. Hey, any of you lot in the chat seen the third one? Is it any good? Have you seen it? I've never seen the third one.
I think I've seen the third one, but I can't remember it from the top of my head. I don't think it was that good.
Yeah.
That's why I don't remember much.
Remember off the top of your head. Yeah. That's it. And sorry if I missed it. Which striker would you get if we could get anyone we've been linked with? Ivan Toney. I've said Ivan Toney is the one.
It's either going to be my first choice is going to be Victor Osimhen, then Harry Kane, in addition to getting Ivan Toney. So I either want one of those two in addition to Ivan Toney, so we can be as competitive as we can be. If Man City can have Haaland and Alvarez, would like to have either Victor Osimhen or Harry Kane, including Toney, one of the two, so we can compete. We need that quality up front because we're going to be competing in all competitions. I know you want Toney first, isn't it, to be the leading striker for Manchester United. It would be nice, man. It would be nice to see that as well.
I'm sold. I'm saying, and yeah, I did hear about Osimhen apparently after Bayern. How true that is,
I don't believe it, man. I don't believe it. I refuse to believe it.
We're gonna find out. Actually,
they need to spend. They need to spend. Bayern Munich don't spend 100 million just like that.
True.
Speaking of that, people forget that Osimhen cost 70 mil for Napoli.
He's gonna go for big money if they sell him.
Yeah.
He'll go for big money if they sell him. Actually, that being said, though, Bayern Munich are playing today. What are you saying? For today's leg, Manchester City versus Bayern Munich.
Jeez.
And who do you think goes through in the tie overall?
Do you know what? Yeah, I have this feeling that it might be City.
I can see you go through.
They finessed them last time, you know.
Well, hey, they got Tommy T in charge, man.
Yeah, I know they got Tommy Tuchel in charge, man.
They got Tommy T. Hey, Chelsea,
you get me, the Champions League.
Hey,
wait a minute. I just want to say something. I just realized, you know, do you remember that time when you asked me? This is disregarding what we just said. Do you remember that time when I said I believe that Harry Potter will get sacked a long time ago when he first started? And I was like, you'll get sacked before the end of the season. Yeah.
You did say that. Mm-hmm.
Wow. Oh, wow. Just wow. The season hasn't ended and he's been sacked, bro. Yeah. I told you that guy's not good enough. And now you know what the funny thing about Chelsea? They've gone from an iPhone 14 Pro to an iPhone 12 Pro to an iPhone XR because Lampard is worse than Potter. They've regressed to regress. And I can't believe it in the space of a year.
Facts.
3 managers. Wow.
So you got City going through. So you got City going through against Bayern.
Yeah.
Of course, you got Madrid going through against Chelsea.
Absolutely.
Okay.
That would be a shocker if it was
City Madrid semi-final. Who you got?
Madrid.
Okay, and the other side of the bracket, I believe it's AC Milan, Napoli. Who you got?
Napoli to go through and beat AC
Milan.
Is it AC
Milan? I keep mixing it up because
it's AC Milan. It's Napoli versus Napoli and AC Milan. They drew each other, right?
They drew one of the Italian clubs. Yeah, AC Milan, Napoli. Yeah. AC Milan, Napoli.
Napoli this time. I feel like they can go to the semis or go all the way.
Benfica, Inter.
You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna go for what you guys don't expect. Benfica.
Okay, Benfica. And I don't know a lot about them, but I know Inter are just bang average. Okay, so Benfica, Napoli semi-final.
Napoli, man.
So you got Real Madrid Napoli final. And you got winning? The champs.
You can't go against the footballing gods, man. The football heritage, you know. Real Madrid, man, again for the 15th or 16th title, bro.
Same ridiculous. Yeah. You know what? I'm in agreement with you as well. That's the crazy part. That's how I think it will go.
Yeah, that covers Sheila, guys.
Apart from I don't know if it's my hatred for City clouding my judgment, which it might be, but I can see Bayern doing something against City.
Yeah,
but I don't know if that's more logic or more hope or a mix of the two.
I think it's more logic because of Bayern Munich's history in the Champions League and record. Yeah, I think so. It's more logic that you come from, and it's true. Bayern Munich can roll over City, you just don't know it. But I just feel like because of City's performance in the league hasn't been great, they probably put all their eggs into that basket of the Champions League, you know, especially with Haaland there. And that guy's incredible, man. He just scores for fun. So I feel like City might just go and knock out Bayern Munich. But they won't knock out Madrid. I'll be shocked. I will be shocked. I feel like if they're going to win, they'll win the home game, wherever at Etihad, and go and lose in the return. And Benzema and then ManDem just wake up and just do things.
And Mason, speaking of that, this is a lovely segue. Says, hypothetically, would Benzema be your first choice if we could get him for a couple of years, similar to Varane and Casemiro? I've said this already. When someone said Benzema is out of contract, I would go and try and sign him and Ivan Toney. I'd get both. 110%. I would go and get both. And yes, Benzema would be no, actually. Then I'd just let Ivan Toney and Benzema fight out. You know what I'm saying? I let them both like, all right, you don't want to be Manchester United's number 9? Cool. Or if you really, they could play together and you bench Bruno and have Benzema playing off Ivan Toney. Imagine that. Ben's in the 10. You know what I'm saying? With Casemiro and an upgrade on Eriksen behind him with Ivan Toney up top. And then Rashford and Anthony. Whew. Yeah. And the 2 new fullbacks. But hey, that's a dream world, people. That's Football Manager FIFA stuff. You know what I'm saying? And that's what that is. But yes, would I take Benzema? Absolutely, Mason. Benzema, yes.
You're asking the wrong guy. The guy loves Benzema, bro. It's one of his. I mean, guys ever heard that? The guy said he's one of my favorite strikers. Of all time. Like, I'm gonna ask. It's like when you ask Jamie Carragher what if Van Dijk is better than what's good. What do you expect from Flawless?
Yeah. I go get Benz and Tony and be like, all right, you lot go do your thing or play them together. Because Benz is more than capable of playing off of a striker. Benz don't have to be the 9. I'd go get Benz and Ivan Toney. It does sound crazy, like, but yeah, I'd go get both. Because Benz gets injured at times anyway. So it's like, why not go and have both of those players? 100%. Yeah, man, King Benzi, man. King Benzi, without doubt. CNF, hey, says Chelsea winning the Champions League. You heard it here last. Hey, hell of a dream. Hell of a dream, man. Hell of a dream. But you dream, my guy. But love to everyone that's locked in. Please make sure you hit the like button. Please make sure you share across all the socials. Please subscribe to the channel. Sarcasm City TV is road to 7K. Make sure you hit the notification bell when you do so. Make sure as well you subscribe to Ivorian's channel, Red United TV. The link is in the title. So you can click the link, opens up a new tab, and then that way you can subscribe to his channel first and foremost, and secondly, find all his socials. Ivorian, my done. Always good chopping up with you.
Anything you want to add? Big up to the chat, man. Big up to everyone as well, man. Always supporting. Big up Dennis the Great. Always asks throwing questions at me. You know, I think he's got a favorite now on this show, bro. Dennis the Great, bro. Yeah, you get me. But big up to everyone, man. It's been a lovely show. I'm actually quite sad that it's ended. You know, and I have to go back to our lives.
We'll be back next week.
Yes. It's a great show. As always, guys, you can follow me, subscribe to Red United TV, smash the like button here. Back again tomorrow. We got Europa League watch along on both channels, so make sure you watch that at the same time, and of course the watch along on the weekend. And if you want to watch anything that's to do with me, I've got a podcast that I've released yesterday on Red United TV, so you can have a look at that and check that out. But yes, big up to everyone.
And to Chris, he says, asking Tony to fight out with Benzema is like asking Taza to fight out with the Fury. No disrespect to Tony. Yo, pressure burst pipes. You know what I'm saying? And that makes that pressure burst pipes or makes diamonds. And I'm thinking more so not even to fight out. Who better to learn from? Who's a better mentor for Ivan Toney than Karim Benzema?
Hey, the best.
That's
mentor.
what I'm thinking of. I'm thinking not so much of the season they're there. I'm talking about afterwards. You know how much you could help him? Of Ivan Toney getting to ask questions to Benzema, training with him day in, day out for a season or two. How much that could improve him. Just small things that we wouldn't know about. Like we've already waxed lyrical about Benny McCarthy and the impact he's had on Manchester United attackers, in particular Marcus Rashford. So imagine the impact that Karim Benzema can have on Ivan Toney. Now, I guess Ivan Toney would be to be in the same side as a Karim Benzema. Be able to be like, yo, Karim, how do I improve my game? What do you think of this? What do you think I need to improve on? Raising the level, like I'm all for it. Of course, Karim Benzema is miles better than Ivan Toney. I'm saying he can help Ivan Toney in his development, even though Ivan Toney is 26. Because Karim Benzema's done it all. He's clocked the game 3 times over. This is just extra shit. Karim Benzema, just like I've used it before when you play in GTA and you've clocked the game and you're just running around doing nonsense. That's what Karim Benzema's at. He's already clocked the game. Everything now is just extras. It's just bonus. But like I was saying, love to everyone who's locked in. Thoroughly enjoy the show. You know what I'm saying? Every week, in particular with Ivorian on the Tuesdays editions. Obviously, you get it Mondays, Tuesdays, Thursdays when there's no European, when it's not a European week, and Fridays as well, all 4:30 p.m. right here on the Sarcasm City TV YouTube. This is just the start for today, though, people. Long day of streaming. So obviously, this is the first of 5 streams, people. The first of 5 streams today. So the second stream after this will be the Manchester City versus Bayern Munich Champions League watch along, obviously quarterfinal first leg. That will be on the Sarcasm City TV Twitch. Then following that, we'll be back on the YouTube. Myself and Cam, it will be the Arsenal and the Manchester United and Arsenal show. ManDem United crossover. ManDem United going to talk from the Arsenal. The reason why it's not the Liverpool show with Saint, because Saint can't make it. So that's why you're getting the show with me and Cam.
Understandable.
Manchester United and Arsenal. So Saint, that'll get moved to Thursday. So yeah, me and Cam, that'll be tonight at midnight. And then starting just after that, so like 12:30, 1:45. This is all UK times. Peter will be holding it down on the Twitch. It's the start of the NBA play-ins. So then Miami Heat versus the Atlanta Hawks. That watch along will be going on. So it's the start of the play-ins. So Miami Heat versus the Atlanta Hawks. That watch along will be on the Twitch. So that'll be going down the same time. Dual streaming. That'll be going down the same time that me and Cam are on YouTube. We'll also be live on the Twitch. And then following that, following that, people, I did say there was 5 streams today. 3 a.m. LA Lakers versus the Minnesota Timberwolves. That NBA playing game, which will go down immediately after the Heat and Hawks game. So 5 streams, people. That's what we're doing. 5 streams today. Some here on the YouTube, some on the Twitch. All of this on the upcoming live stream schedule. So see you lot for the Manchester City Bayern game at 8 p.m. the Manchester United Arsenal show here at midnight. And then obviously on the Twitch at 12:30, 1:15, the Miami Heat versus the Atlanta Hawks watch along. And then closing it out, the LA Lakers versus Minnesota Timberwolves watch along. People, man, like so much show content going on. You already know. Hey, Dennis, big up, man. He says we'll be in the Twitch chat for the Champions League and NBA watch alongs and the Liverpool United show. Much appreciated, man. Ivorian, anything else you want to add before we close out?
No, not at all, man. Big up, like I said before, big up to everyone, man. It's just always good being here, man. Yeah,
always. And we're gonna raid Never a Foul alive right now. So we'll raid Never a Foul. Make sure you hit the like button. Make sure you subscribe. See you lot on the Twitch for the Manchester City Bayern Munich game. This has been the ManDem United podcast live on the Sarcasm City TV YouTube. Big up for tuning in.